我今年33岁没结婚，不是不结婚啊。
I'm 33 years old and still not married. It's not that I don't want to get married, it's just that I can't find anyone. The situation for women like me, older, still single, is really tough. I don't need a car, a house, or a dowry. I would even offer 30 or 50,000 yuan to help, but still, no one is interested. At this point, I'm convinced I'll just grow old alone. Is it really this bad for older women in China? Even if they offer money, they still can't get married. It turns out the marriage market is more competitive than previously thought. Let's hear from someone in Beijing working in the high-end matchmaking industry.
2025年，北京相亲市场男女比例已经是1:50了。
The ratio of men to women in the Beijing matchmaking market is 1 to 50. Yeah, you heard that right. One man for every 50 women. Last year, many people told me the ratio was 1 to 9, but with my experience working in top-tier markets, I knew that couldn't be true. It's clear that the number of women is growing, and for every man that comes in, he's almost guaranteed to find a match. Women are lining up. Sure enough, when the data came out, I was shocked. Just in my Beijing office, for every 40 women who come in, only one man shows up. A 33-year-old local woman came in recently, and when I showed her the numbers, she immediately understood why she'd be rejected by men the past couple of months. She makes 50,000 yuan a month, is 168 centimeters tall, fair-skinned, and beautiful. But the men she liked were quick to settle into relationships with other women. It's because she's competing with 49 other women. I honestly think it's just too hard. She once organized a high-end matchmaking event for people with over 10 million yuan in assets, but even then, the number of women registering was 40 to 50 times that of men.
之前武汉相亲大会说是600个女生比1个男生。
Previously, in Wuhan, there was a matchmaking event where 600 women showed up for every man. At the time, people thought it was exaggerated, but I can tell you, it wasn't at all. I've held my high-end matchmaking events in Beijing 3 times, always ensuring the number of men and women is the same. This time, we had 15 men and 15 women. But do you want to know the registration numbers? Every time, at least 600 to 700 women sign up, while men only number 10 or 20. This time, it's the highest number of men registering, and those are the real numbers. Now, if the gender ratio in the high-end matchmaking market is already alarming, how bad is it for regular matchmaking events?
朋友们，你们听说了吗？北京相亲大会上居然没有一个男生去。
Have you heard about the matchmaking event in Beijing where no men showed up? Can you believe it? I heard it was all single women attending, and many of the women were really upset. Many people online are wondering, why don't the men go to matchmaking events anymore? Don't they want to get married? If Beijing's matchmaking event was shocking, Shanghai's market is taking it to a new level. At the Shanghai matchmaking corner, it's not unusual for 9 women to compete for 1 man. Last year, Hangzhou held a similar event with hundreds of women and almost no men. In Wuhan, the situation was even worse. Men could attend for free, but women had to pay a 3,800 yuan entrance fee. But guess what? The men still didn't come. Just like the earlier question, do men really not want to get married? A user gave a sharp analysis.
有钱有能力的男人不缺对象。
Rich and capable men don't lack for options, but men without money or ability, even if they go, it's a waste of time, so no one will be interested. Some people say that at matchmaking events, rich people get targeted, while those with average conditions only end up humiliating themselves, so why bother? Others directly say that men realize they don't need women, they can't spend their money fast enough. This comment resonated with many. In fact, older single women have already become a common phenomenon in Chinese society. All across the country, people are wondering why the matchmaking market has become such a tough battleground for women.
郑州也沦陷了啊。
In Zhengzhou, the situation is dire. The matchmaking market there has become a nightmare for women looking for a partner. Don't just look at the online statistics, like how there are over 30 million more men than women. It's not that the data is inaccurate, it's that the matchmaking market has its own algorithm. In Zhengzhou's matchmaking market, the ratio of men to women is as high as 1 to 43. That's a conservative estimate. It's probably even worse. These men, knowing that they're short, poor, and unattractive, lack a house or car, don't even bother coming to matchmaking events. They know no one will look at them. They joke about themselves, saying, poor, ugly, 1.49 meters tall, how dare I waste my family's time? But women are different. They think they can still find someone with good conditions, no matter what their own personal situation is. As a result, thousands of older single women are in Zhengzhou's matchmaking event, picking and choosing. If things don't change, they'll all end up alone.
贵阳市河滨公园的相亲角，在这里呢，剩女一大堆。
In Guiyang's Riverside Park, the matchmaking corner is packed with older single women. Women aged 22 to 28 are highly sought after, while those over 35 with a car and house are ignored. There are far more women than men. Many of these older single women are already more realistic. Some don't even want a dowry and are willing to offer a car and house. They just want a man who is steady and wants to build a life together. So why are there so many older single women in China? One user compared it to leftover dishes at a restaurant. Why are some dishes still there while others are sold out? They summed up the 3 reasons. First, the dish doesn't look very good. Second, it doesn't taste good. Third, the dish is too old and doesn't taste right. Fourth, it's clearly leftover from someone else. Fifth, the dish was poorly made but is sold at a high price. Another user added, men have so much pressure these days. They're all busy making money. Men without money can't even afford to go to matchmaking events, and even if they do, there's no hope. As for rich men, why would they go for leftover dishes? The situation for these older single women is indeed worrying. Now, younger women born after 2000 are entering the marriage market, competing with these older single women for high-quality men.
你们听说了没有？
Did you hear? This year, about 20,000 women born after the year 2000 have already gotten married, but only around 2,000 men of the same age have tied the knot. What does this mean? It means that most of these 20,000 women are marrying men from the 90s or even the 80s. This is actually bad news for women born in the 90s and 80s. Why? Because most of the quality men from those generations are already married, and now these women have to compete with the 2000s for the remaining ones. Based on the women who've consulted me recently, it's clear that a large number of 2000s have already entered the marriage market. In addition, the popularity of platforms like TikTok has somewhat changed the way young people view marriage and relationships. The short videos, filled with luxury cars, mansions, and domineering CEOs, have made some women's expectations of marriage unrealistic, while men, due to the high costs of relationships, have chosen to retreat.
2025年中年少女们最喜欢的4大名著。
Middle-aged women's favorite fantasies revolve around the 4 great love stories. The CEO falls in love with me, a poor woman. The CEO falls in love with me, a woman with a terminal illness. The CEO falls in love with me, a divorced woman with kids. And the CEO falls in love with me, a woman with a chubby face. I wonder how clueless these CEOs are. Probably never having tasted fine food in their lives, not picky at all. I mean, are these short dramas sponsored by the King of Hell? They all involve billions and trillions. I wouldn't even dare say that while playing a game. Anyway, I feel like I have to help if I see an old lady fall. I'm afraid I might just miss the grandson of a billionaire CEO. When I go out now, I always carry my ID because I'm afraid some CEO might want to rush into a marriage with me. Actually, many women dream like this. Recently, in a show called Wang Po Acts as Matchmaker, a 28-year-old female guest made a shocking request, a 10 million yuan dowry. This woman, wearing a veil, looked very mysterious. She introduced herself, saying, I think the first thing he should appreciate is my inner quality, not my appearance. According to her introduction, she's 28 years old, from Zugong, Sichuan, and now lives in Chengdu. She started working in the beauty industry at age 22 and has never relied on her parents, even while opening up her own shop. She calls herself Noodle Sister, and her requirements for a man are simple. Anyone over 18 is fine. I don't care if he's tall or handsome. I just care about his inner qualities. He needs to be kind. It's that simple. She also shared her own strengths. My family is very traditional, and I'm traditional too. I don't smoke, drink, or gamble. I don't go to bars, and I don't have bad habits or messy social circles. I'm in a very clean circle. I don't care about luxury goods, bags, or cars because I value my inner development more. I once spent 8 years with a man who had no savings, no car, and no house. She continued, saying that her ex-boyfriend left her after becoming successful, which is why she's on the show now, hoping to find someone who would cherish her for life. By this point in the show, everyone thought it was pretty normal. She's a responsible, successful woman, and her story was touching. It didn't take long for a 19-year-old man to step up. Although she had said everyone over 18 was fine, facing this 19-year-old, she felt it was a bit inappropriate. Later, several more men came up to apply. But then, this woman suddenly added a small condition, something she had forgotten to mention due to nerves earlier. I won a 10 million yuan dowry. This statement was like a bombshell, instantly shattering the atmosphere, followed by a round of boos from the audience. Even Wang Po, the host, who had seen many big events, couldn't hold back her reaction. Hey, are you daydreaming? 10 million! Don't say that, sweetie. This is how you young people view love. You can't just say things like that. Oh, you scare me. Indeed, a 10 million yuan dowry seems like fantasy to most people. After the show aired, online users exploded. Some thought she had been brainwashed by short video platforms, watching too many luxury car and mansion videos, and thinking that making millions a year was normal. This was basically asking for trouble. One user did the math. The national average dowry is under 70,000 yuan, and her demand was 142 times that. For an average person, it would take 10 years of saving without eating or drinking just to afford it. Some users even uncovered her real appearance, noting that she might be wearing the veil because her facial features aren't very striking. This sparked further discussion. If she's not especially pretty, is demanding a 10 million yuan dowry overly confident or completely unrealistic? Her dowry demand caused public outrage, and she was frequently attacked online. On August 8th, she was forced to publicly apologize.
大家好，我是泡面姐姐。
Hi, I'm Noodle Sister. Regarding the 10 million yuan dowry, I sincerely apologize to everyone. I've been reflecting on it these past few days. Perhaps I've watched too many short dramas and lost my sense of reality, not thinking before speaking. I was wrong not to consider the impact my words would have on society. That day, during Wang Po's livestream, I blurted out something impulsively, and it made many people uncomfortable. It even sent the wrong message to young people. I didn't think it through at the time, and the more I think about it now, the more guilty I feel. However, netizens weren't convinced, feeling her apology lacked sincerity. She didn't even show her face. There's no sincerity. At least she should have taken her veil off to apologize. People like this should be arrested by the state for disrupting the market. The 10 million yuan dowry demand from Noodle Sister was somewhat attention-grabbing, but the next woman truly raised the bar for outrageous expectations.
首先呢，就是男方必须得1.8米高的个子。
The man must be at least 1.8 meters tall.
Let me interrupt. How old are you really?
I'm actually 55 years old.
55? That's pretty young. Pretty young. About the same as someone born in the 80s. What else?
He must have at least a master's degree because I'm highly educated. I have a PhD, you know. Additionally, the woman claims that she's an overseas returnee, explaining that she's been too busy studying and working to get married. Although she's this old, she's still unmarried, so she demands a 1.8 million yuan dowry. But that's not all. I also need a car, so it's easier to go out and travel. It doesn't have to be expensive, just a car worth 100,000 yuan or so. That's the way things are now, right?
Anything else?
After we get married, I need 2 full-time housekeepers, working 24/7, because I can't do the housework. I'm independent, right? It's very simple. Also, every month, I need 100,000 yuan allowance. Women need to go shopping, get beauty treatments, and get their nails done, right? Netizens' comments were priceless. Auntie, I wouldn't even dare to wish for something like that. I'd wake up in shock even in a dream. Auntie, you might still be unmarried and a virgin, but you're menopausal. Take your time. Eventually, there will be a good match for you. On another note, she says,
现在满大街都是那些老斑鸠。
Now, all over the streets, there are those older women, either divorced or just getting old, that no one's paying attention to. They're still fantasizing that they're Snow White. Everywhere you look, there are women without jobs, carrying huge debts, hoping marriage will solve their financial problems. When men see women like this, they run the other way, avoiding them fast. Men today just want to find a woman to live a simple life with, and that's rarer than finding a giant panda. When a nation stops procreating, how can there be any development? Who will benefit from that? Look at all these young men. Every one of them is suppressed. They're like clueless geese, only playing games or delivering food, just getting by to feed themselves and their families. Women? They're just ordering takeout and looking for someone to take over their debts. Wake up! Stop being the capital's crop. You're nothing.
大龄优质剩女是一个伪命题。
The idea of higher quality older single women is a false proposition. A woman who is still single at an older age isn't considered high quality. Truly high quality women simply don't remain single. Men can clearly distinguish between women who are attractive and those who are suitable for a stable life. A woman's love for barbecuing, yoga, baking, traveling, or horseback riding only means one thing to men. She loves spending money. No matter how much money you have, you don't share it with a man. No matter how many houses you own, you don't share them with a man. No matter how much debt you have, you expect the man to pay for it. So how much assets a woman has is not an advantage for men. In fact, being older is a disadvantage. Marriage is for love, and love is for continuing the family line. Older single women are not unmarried because they don't have boyfriends, but because at their age they no longer have the ability to bear children or maintain good health. Therefore, to men, age is truly the biggest disadvantage. I'm not afraid of being criticized, but if it wakes even one person up, then it's worth it. In fact, this blogger isn't the only one pointing it out. Many men have already seen through this situation and are no longer willing to enter marriage easily. In 2024, only over 6 million couples registered for marriage in China, a 20% drop from the previous year, with the marriage rate falling to 4 in every 1,000. In the first quarter of 2025, only 1.8 million couples married, 140,000 fewer than the same period last year. Scholars have analyzed that the main reasons for this decline are the heavy pressures young people face, low income, high monthly expenses, leading many to shy away from the responsibility of starting a new family. Secondly, the cost of marriage is too high. Many young people say that the expenses, including dowries, weddings, and house purchases, are astronomical, often draining their parents' entire savings. This has made many parents worry about their children's marriages and are less inclined to push them towards marriage quickly. The worsening social atmosphere has also caused men to steer clear of relationships. Some women, under the guise of testing men, juggle multiple suitors, actually looking for free meals, drinks, and even scamming money. They've become gold diggers. Even more concerning are the debt-repaying women, who use high dowries or marriage to settle debts. With the economic downturn, these types of issues are becoming more rampant. Men, even with the slightest mistake, may find themselves losing both money and trust, watching their hard-earned savings disappear. Even when encountering normal women, dating for years often means costly car rides, red envelopes, and gifts. When it comes to discussing marriage, the 5 mountains of dowry, house, car, wedding, and miscellaneous expenses follow one after another. After marriage, the trouble doesn't stop. Handing over salary cards, constant arguments over values, comparisons among friends, and the high cost of raising children. Now, many men have figured it out. They're distancing themselves from marriage. They'd rather spend their money on themselves. When they realize they can live a happier life without love or marriage, fulfilling their own needs, and still have money left over, they start asking, what is the point of getting married? Why should I get married? It's no surprise that marriage rates are dropping so drastically.